A good Erev Shabbos, everyone, as we learn the Mishna Yomis for Erev Shabbos Kodesh, Erev Shabbos Haloischa, as we finish yet another parak in Yoma with the last Mishnah, Mishnah Vav in the fourth parak, and Mishnah Aleph in the fifth parak of Yoma, sponsored L'Ilui Nishmas Levi Yitzchak ben Meir, Yaakov Moshe ben Zev, L'Refuah Shalem Fel Yom Moshe ben Chai Sar, and also L'Ilui Nishmas Rabbi Rachmel Gershon ben Reb Tzvi Yehuda, by the Fisher family, L'Ilui Nishmas Basi Bas Rabbi Shalom ben Avraham Alevi, Perel Bas Ruvain, by Yod Klugman and family for their Hatzlacha in Parnasa, Berevach, Uvechavod, Gesund, and everything wonderful. We learned that B'chol Yom, every day, Hayusham Arba Marachis, every day on the top of the Mizbeach HaChitzin, there were 4 pyres. That's very interesting. 1 pyre for the Eish Tamid, the perpetual fire, 1 pyre for the burning of the karbanas, 1 pyre to manufacture the coals for the ketairis, and 1 pyre for the Haktaris Eivarim Upedarim, the smoking up of the fats and the limbs of the day before. Vayayim Chamish, and on Yom Kippur there was a 5th pyre for the special ketairis, the coals for the special ketairis in the Kodesh Kodashim. Divrei Rameir, that's the opinion of Rameir. Rabbi Yosi, Aimer B'chol Yom Shalosh Vayayim Arba. Rabbi Yosi is of the opinion that there wasn't a separate pyre for the fats and the limbs for the day before, so that downgrades it to 3 and 4. Rabbi Yehuda B'chol Yom Shtaim, he says there wasn't a pyre for the perpetual fire, so therefore every day there was 2 for the smoking up of the karbanis and for the ketairis, and Vayayim Shalosh, and on Yom Kippur there was 3, an extra pyre for the ketairis of the day. And now we learn Mishnah Perek Hey, Mishnah Aleph, and it's very exciting. You know, we know that now, because of our great sins, we don't have karbanas. So our learning about the procedures in the Beis Hamikdash is considered as if we do it. Zois Torah's chatas, we say ki'ilu hikrav chatas. And therefore now when we learn about the once a year procedure done in the holiest place on earth, in the Kodesh Kodashim, on the holiest day of the year, Yom Kippur, by the holiest, one of the holiest Yidden, the Kohen Gadol, and it's as if we do it. So it's very exciting. Now we're getting into the ketairis that was smoked up in the Kodesh Kodashim. They took out for him a spoon, and remember there was a shovel full of coals on the 4th row that was ready for him. They bring it to him. He takes from the spoon of ketairis, the kaf was full with ketairis, so the chafan maloi chafnav, he takes 2 handfuls, it's 2 cupped handfuls, v'nas on the secha kaf, and he puts it into the spoon. Now, these 2 handfuls were not a certain amount; they were according to his physique. Hagadol lefi gadlai, if he had big hands, so there were more ketairis. V'katan lefi katnai, if he had small hands, there was left. V'kachaisim he does, and that was its share according to the physique of the Kohen Gadol. Nonetheless, a machta b'yamina, he took the shovel in his right hand, v'esa kaf b'smaili, and the spoon in his left hand. Now, really, the spoon which held the ketairis, that's the main thing, not the coals. Really, the spoon should go in his right hand, but the hot coals was heavier and, of course, more dangerous, so we allowed the Kohen Gadol to hold it in his right, and remember, it had a long arm, the shovel, so he could tuck it under his armpit as well. So now he enters the Kodesh, until he reached the 2 curtains that separated between the Holy and the Holy of Holies. In between these 2 curtains was an Amma walkway. Rabbi Yosi disagrees, and he says there was only 1 paroiches. However, the curtain separated for them between the Holy and the Holy of Holies. Now we're going back to the first opinion that there was 2. There were 2 curtains with a walkway in between of a Amma. Now to get in, the outer curtain the curtain was bent back on the southern side. That's when he entered to his left. Va'pnimis minatzafan, and the inner curtain was bent back and opened on the northern side. So what he did is he entered on the south, and mahalach beinayim, and then he went between them until he reaches the north, and then he enters into the Kodesh Kodashim, Megillah Tzafon, then hoifech panav ladarim, then he turns to the south, and mahalach l'smayna, walking to his left along the curtain on the inside, imaparaychas, along the curtain, until he reaches the aron between the bottom. So he reached the aron between the bottom of the aron, and the first thing he did, remember, he's holding in his left hand the shovel of coals, and his right hand the spoon of the ketairis. Noisen es hamachte bein shtei abadim. He put down the shovel between the two poles, and then what he had to do is, now this was one of the hardest malachas in one of the hardest malachas in the Beis Hamikdash. He had to take the ketairis from the spoon into his cupped hand. So some say he held it with his teeth, and he rotated it in order to get the ketairis into his two cupped hands. Then, after he did that, savar es ketairis al gabi gecholim, inside the Kodesh Kodashim. This was what the emistic way to do it, not the way that Tzedokim did it outside, and they Kohen Gadol died because of that. So savar es ketairis al gabi gecholim, he piled the ketairis onto the coals, v'nismalei kol habayis kula ashen, and the whole room filled with smoke. Then yotza, then he exited, uvaloi b'derech beis knisasa, and he exited the way he entered. Umispal tefila kitzara b'bayis achitzon, and he said a short prayer in the Kodesh. The Rav tells us that the text of the short prayer was, Yiratzim u'fanecha Hashem Elokai, she'im shana zu shechuna, if this year will be hot, shetei geshuma, there should be ample rainfall. V'lo yadei ovad shultan mid Beis Yehuda, the scepter of royal